chaos, where we greet one another. As always, we're respectful of one another's boundaries. If you're new here, please know that you are welcome to get up and have very exuberant hugs, or you are welcome to sit and just wave at people. Wherever you are, we accept you, and we wish to honor that. Our only rule that we are crackerjack, that was sarcastic, at following is when the music starts back, we're supposed to return to our seats. So please be mindful of that as we greet one another. So now is when we share our gifts. This is a profoundly generous congregation where we join together in our vision and our mission, where we share a wide variety of our gifts. We share our heart, our minds, physical labor, artistic, creative ability, all the different ways that people can give and share. Now is when we share our material gifts, because in this world, you either thrive or you die, and we are a place of thriving. And no matter how you feel about capitalism, that is the world we live in, and it takes money to thrive. So please share as you're able.
You're not certain when you feel hurt yet violent when you deal with how the world drags you along. You're not alone, and nothing good ever free. No one gets it, no one sees. So here you stand, beloved freak. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. Sometimes we get so tired and weak, lose the sky and leave our feet. You're not alone. Every come up throws your work. It scars our vision, cross the dark. And when we're gone, we will remain. You're not alone. People lie and people steal. They misinterpret how you feel. And so we doubt and we conceal. You're not alone. Don't worry for me. Just think of yourself. Think of yourself. Don't worry for me. Just think of yourself. Think of yourself. When we're gone, we will remain. 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 So here you stand, beloved freak. The world is at your feet. Here you stand, beloved freak. The world is at your feet. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So you stand, beloved freak. World lying at your feet. There you stand, beloved freak. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Very good. I heard that. Good morning. Is it all right if I stand down here instead of up there today? Okay, good. The light in me sees and greets the light in you this morning. Thank you for the invitation to come here to share with you a little bit about my life, my journey, but also I want to say a distinct thank you to all of you who have, maybe you don't know this, but welcomed my family here too. We snuck into the back row a couple of times last year, and we have always felt welcomed here. So thank you for this invitation to come back and to share with you. Mary gave me a lot of that sound better than what I usually do in my day-to-day life, but that's what a bio's for, right? I want to offer you just a short reflection this morning on how light and the light we need has played a role in my own life. And I'll start with a story that begins in COVID. I know that time that is a time of darkness or uncertainty for many of us, and also provided a light, a revelation to the things that we truly need to sustain ourselves, to sustain each other, and to sustain community together. So during COVID, I had two little ones at that time. My older ones were in Asheville, but with their mom, and so we had to, as blended families did, had to have some distance from each other. So I had a 4-year-old and a toddler. And actually a toddler, just barely a toddler. She had only turned 1. And so we decided that we were going to be some of the people who stayed to ourselves, because these information that we were getting was so dangerous to infants especially. And what we found is that we needed some practices, some schedules, some routines, as kids do, and maybe adults too need. And so one of the things that we started is we started taking a morning walk. Now I say morning, but maybe some of it was pre-dawn, because if you've had many humans in your life, you know light is different for them, time is different for them. And so this was a pretty early practice that we started in our own neighborhood, somewhere that we had lived for 5 years. And what we discovered is that the neighborhood we thought we knew, that we drove around and drove into and out of almost every day, actually had a lot of beauty to it. It had a lot of light in it. And we discovered that because we took this morning walk and we looked for all the different things that were changing in that spring. And so I started taking pictures to try to ground myself and center myself and remind myself that today is just a little bit different than tomorrow and yesterday, even though things felt in a weird kind of time dimension, didn't they? And one of the things that we discovered is that we discovered this secret pond that was a part of our neighborhood that we never knew about. And you had to go on this trail that was between some houses, and when you went through this trail, you discovered this pond here, and we would watch the wildlife. We would bring sometimes scraps of food and feed the wildlife. And what we began to find was this daily thing that I started calling morning light. Some kind of anchor that would center and ground me as the adult who was supposed to understand what was going on and then guide these many humans to safety and predictability and certainty. And what I found was a lifelong practice that I've tried to hold on to. Now, I am not the only one who has discovered morning light. Let me be very clear about that. There are authors and philosophers and theologians and professors who have talked about the impact that light has on our own selves. We heard music this morning, thank you so much, Aaron, that talks about that light, and there's a reason that that speaks to us. And it's because we need the light. We need the morning light to remind us it is morning. Here we go again. Let's start again on the things that we've been called to work and to change. We need someone to see the light that is a part of who we are, that uniqueness, that belovedness. And when we don't get the light, then we aren't able to grow and flourish individually, but also as a community. And so this morning light became a practice that actually we still do today, years later. And my children will say, "Are we going on a walk again?" And I will say, "Yes, we are, but it's cold," or "but it's hot." And I said, "Yes, and still we need the light." What I am hoping is that I'm developing in them a routine of binding themselves to the morning and to the dawn and the hope and the possibility that the new day brings, but also that I'm binding them to creation and community, not just among humans, but among geese and light and trees, changing light in the leaves, something that reminds us that we are not the center of the universe, but that we are a part of a greater puzzle, that when those lights come together, it creates a beautiful spectrum of possibility. And so just so I have some, we've added one since the COVID. So this is the trail that you will find us on quite often, especially on the weekends. Please wave and say hey as I'm huffing and puffing behind the stroller, and I will try to say hey too, or at least wave. But as we were going back, I asked our toddler here, I said, "Which way is home?" And she pointed down the trail, but as she was pointing down the trail, she actually pointed to the light. And yes, it is how the light comes at that time of day, but there is something about that picture that I thought, I just need to capture this. because she is pointing the way home, and this is the way actually we all find home. We have to find the light in the midst of the night, not just because we need it, but because that light is the light that guides us home. Now you might think, that's not my home. That's not the way I go home. And what I'm talking about is the home within ourselves, right? And here is the truth about the world that exists around us, is there are people and systems that are trying to steal light from others. There are systems and practices that deny that each individual has a light within them. And so it is one of the most revelatory and important things that we can do to harness and also foster the light that has been given to us, because the light that I have is not actually the same as the light you have. It is the light that is within all of us that forms the way for everyone to come home to a beloved community where they feel welcomed, where they feel loved, and also where they know that what they are doing matters in the world. So that light that is within us actually shows the way to other people who might be in uncertainty or darkness, or as Amanda Gorman said, that shade that exists. Anybody been in a period of your life that feels a little foggy? A little dark? I grew up with a lot of cousins, as you can tell, probably if you saw my now middle name, that Neely carries a name, but they loved to play hide and seek in the dark. And I thought, why are we doing this? It is hard enough to play hide and seek in the light. Why are we adding darkness to trying to find each other? Those periods of darkness are kind of universal for all of us who have been living life for a while. And those periods of darkness or uncertainty or shade or fogginess, in those times, and why I started this story in COVID, is where we find the light that sustains us and carries us through. It's also where we find the people in our lives who ignite us and light us up, fill us with joy, encourage us and support us, and also where it becomes clear those who we need to lighten our load from, distance ourselves, because it is not their light that is bringing us joy and peace. I don't know if you have read, but as I started to think about our time together, I started finding all of these books on my shelf that have light in the title. It's all around us, isn't it? There is a wonderful book that is from Anthony Doerr. It's All the Light We Cannot See. I don't know if you've read that one too, but it says, all the light we cannot see. So how children does the brain, which lives in that sparkle of light, the brain that lives without a spark of light, create a world that's full of light. Right? And of course, that book is a story of a time that was very dark in history. And then Michelle Obama, her second book is called The Light We Carry. And she says it this way. She says, I believe that each of us carries a bit of inner brightness, something entirely unique and individual, a flame that's worth protecting. When we're able to recognize our own light, we become empowered to use it. When we learn to foster what's unique in the people around us, we become better able to build compassionate communities and make meaningful change. And so you heard a little bit about the work that I did in Columbia. Columbia is in the center of our state in a lot of different ways. socioeconomically speaking, politically speaking. And I have to tell you that trying to bring light to systems of injustice is very tiring work in Columbia, as I'm sure it is here too sometimes. People would ask, can you come be a presence of light and revelation at the State House? And I would say, yes, of course. And they say, we probably won't win. And I say, but we will be there still. We will still offer light, right? That, I think, is the hardest part of fostering the light that is within us when we are in a climate and a culture that feels dark. It is hard and exhausting work. If you have ever been on a camp out, you know that tending to the fire is something that takes a lot of work. It takes fuel, and it takes gathering sticks, and it takes fighting off the elements in some way. But that tending to the fire is what provides warmth and also provides a place for cooking and nourishment and wellness. And so I don't have the privilege yet of knowing all of your individual stories. But if this is a time of darkness for you, please know that we need your light. Not just that we need light of the noonday sun or the dawn, not just that we need lights that light up the darkness during this season, but we need your light. The light that is unique and individual to you specifically. We need your light because there isn't enough light right now. We need your light because it will light the way home for other people, and it will be passed from person to person so that systems of injustices are brought to light, so that people in power who are oppressing other people are brought to the light of truth. We need your light because your light isn't anywhere else in this world. Your light is specifically here at this time, in this culture, at this moment, for some reason. We need your light because it provides healing and hope to other people who are wading through the fogginess of uncertainty and darkness. We need your light because you have fought so hard to hold on to that. And so if you are in a time of darkness, don't give up hope. Find the geese, find the trail, find the baking of bread or